A Hare's Part I, The Night Scene, written in line. No breaks, no formatting tricks, just story. The road vanished behind the fog as if it had never existed at all. Elias slowed the car to a crawl, knuckles white on the steering wheel, breast shallow. The headlights cut two weak tunnels through the mist, but whatever lay beyond them refused to be seen. Trees crowded close on both sides, their branches arching overhead like ribs, interlocking and blotting out the moon. The forest smelled old wet leaves, rot, something metallic underneath. The radio crackled. He hadn't turned it on. A low hiss filled the car. Then a voice surfaced through the static, soft, breathy, too close to his ear. "Don't stop." Elias jerked, nearly swerving off the road. He slapped the radio off. Silence rushed in, thick and heavy, pressing against his eardrums. His heart hammered. He laughed once, shakily. Just fatigue, just imagination. He'd been driving since sunset, chasing a shortcut his phone swore existed. The fog thickened. Then the engine died. The car coasted forward a few feet and shuddered to a halt. The dashboard went dark. No lights, no hum, just the quiet so deep it rang. Elias swallowed. No, he tried the ignition. Nothing, not even a click. That was when he noticed the footprints. They emerged from the fog on the driver's side, appearing one by one as if being pressed into the dirt in real time. Bare feet, small, child-sized. They stopped beside his door. He froze. Something tapped the window. Once, twice, slowly. Elias turned his head. A face hovered inches from the glass. Its skin was pale, almost translucent, stretched tight over sharp cheekbones. Eyes sunken and black, reflecting no light at all. Its mouth curved upward into a smile that showed too many teeth. Tap, tap, tap. "Let me in," it whispered, though its lips didn't move. Elias screamed and slammed the door lock down. The thing's smile widened. Its head tilted, bones creaking audibly, like branches bending in wind. Behind it, shapes moved in the fog. More feet, more faces, children, all of them watching. The thing raised one finger and traced a circle on the glass. Frost bloomed beneath its touch, spider webbing outward. The temperature in the car plummeted. Elias' breath fogged in front of him. "Don't stop," the thing said again, voice overlapping itself, like several mouths speaking at once. The back door handle rattled. Then another, then all of them, hands small. Gray hands pressed against the windows from every side. Faces crowded close, mouths opening wider than should be possible, stretching and tearing at the corners as laughter bubbled out. Wet and wrong, the windshield cracked. Elias slammed his foot on the brake, then realized how stupid that was. He was already stopped. He fumbled for his phone. No signal. The screen flickered, then displayed a single image he hadn't opened. A photograph. It showed this road, this exact stretch, and a car identical to his. Headlights off, surrounded by fog. Inside the car, a man stared at the camera, mouth open in a silent scream. It was him. Something banged on the roof. Hard, metal dented inward. A child's voice drifted down, sing-song and sweet. "You weren't supposed to see us." The HUD crumpled as weight settled onto it. The windshield bowed inward. A face slid down the glass from above, upside down now, hair hanging in wet strands, eyes rolling back to reveal milky whites. "Drive," it said urgently. almost kindly. Before they wake up, the forest answered with a groan. Deep in the trees, something enormous shifted. The ground trembled. The fog recoiled as if pushed by an unseen force. The children went still. Every head snapped toward the woods. For the first time, fear crossed their faces. Elias didn't think. He turned the key again and again, sobbing, begging, promising anything. The engine coughed. The children shrieked. The thing on the hood slid off, hitting the ground with a sound like breaking meat. Hands vanished from the windows. Faces retreated, melting back into fog. The engine roared to life. Elias floored it. The car lurched forward, tearing through the mist as screams followed him, angry now, sharp enough to cut. The trees blurred past. The road twisted violently, forcing him to fight the wheel dot in the rearview mirror. The fog parted. Something watched him go. It stood taller than the trees, a silhouette stitched together from darkness itself, eyes like dying stars. Children clung to its legs, its arms, its ribs. Dead things nested inside something older than death. It raised its head and smiled. The road spit Elias out onto an empty highway. Street lights hummed. The fog thinned, then vanished entirely. He didn't stop driving until sunrise. Years later, Elias would learn the name of the road he'd taken, and why. Every decade, the forest needed someone new to carry the memory of it, because the children don't like being forgotten, and the thing in the trees never lets them be alone. Elias told himself it had been exhaustion, a hallucination stitched together by fog, bad roads, and a brain desperate for rest. That explanation held for a while. Long enough for him to sell the car. Long enough to move apartments. Long enough to stop waking up screaming with frost on the inside of his windows. What it didn't explain was the footprints. They began appearing the first winter after the road, bare feet in fresh snow outside his bedroom window, small, perfectly formed, always stopping just short of the glass, never leading away. At first he thought it was a prank. Neighborhood kids, some sick joke. He bought a camera and mounted it above the window, angled down toward the yard. The next morning, the snow was untouched. No footprints, no disturbances, but when he checked the footage, the screen filled with static. At exactly 3:17 a.m. the timestamp jumped forward 6 minutes. When the image returned, frost had crept across the lens from the inside. That was the night he heard the singing. It came from beneath the floorboards, soft, tuneless, a nursery rhyme he almost recognized. The words slipped away when he tried to focus, like a dream dissolving under daylight. He lay frozen in bed, heart racing, as the voices multiplied, whispering harmonies rising and falling together. Don't stop, they sang. The floor creaked. Something moved below him. Elias bolted upright and turned on every light in the apartment. The singing cut off instantly. Silence flooded the rooms again. But it felt wrong now, listening, waiting. He didn't sleep after that. Over the following weeks, the world began to bend around him in subtle ways. Mirrors lagged behind his movements by a fraction of a second. Reflections sometimes smiled when he didn't. Fog gathered where it shouldn't, at the ends of hallways, inside subway cars, coiling low around strangers' feet. Children watched him, not openly, not directly, but he felt their eyes everywhere behind him, in store windows, across crowded streets, peeking from between parked cars. When he turned too fast, he sometimes caught a glimpse. Pale faces, dark eyes, gone in a blink. One followed him home. He noticed the door to his building standing open when it shouldn't have been. The elevator smelled like wet leaves. On the ride up, the lights flickered, and for a moment the mirrored walls reflected more than just him. A small figure stood in the corner. He spun around. Nothing, when the door slid open on his floor. A single wet footprint marked the carpet. Then another, leading down the hall toward his apartment. Elias didn't follow them. He packed a bag instead, threw clothes into it with shaking hands, grabbed his laptop, his wallet, his keys. He didn't look at the hallway again. He left the apartment, locked the door behind him, and took the stairs two at a time. Halfway down, he heard it, tap, 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 coming from inside the walls. Elias, a child's voice called softly, dragging his name out like it tasted good. You forgot something. He ran. Outside, the night had thickened unnaturally. Fog rolled between the buildings, swallowing streetlights whole. The city felt muted, distant, like he was walking underwater. His phone buzzed. A text message. Unknown number. You can't leave WHAD. Carry his chest tightened. He stumbled backward and collided with someone. He spun around, already apologizing, but the words died in his throat. A woman stood behind him, tall and rigid, wearing a long dark coat far too thin for the cold. Her face was sharp, severe, lined with age and something harder. Her eyes were the color of old smoke. You saw the road, she said. Not a question. Elias nodded mutely. Her gaze flicked past him, scanning the fog. Her jaw tightened. Then they marked you. What do they want? He whispered. The woman stepped closer. He smelled damp earth and burned wood on her clothes. They want what they always want. To be remembered, to be followed, to be fed. A child's laugh echoed from somewhere nearby. The woman cursed under her breath. We don't have much time. Who are you? Elias asked. She met his eyes. Someone who didn't drive fast enough. Something shifted in the fog behind her. A massive shape, barely contained, pressing against the edges of the world. Elias felt it more than saw it. A weight, a presence that bent the air and crushed sound beneath it. The children emerged first. They stepped out of the mist hand in hand, smiling, feet never quite touching the ground. Their faces were familiar now. Too familiar. You weren't supposed to tell, one of them said, pouting. The woman pulled a flare from her coat and struck it. Red light exploded into the night. The children recoiled, hissing, their forms flickering like bad film. Run, she shouted, and don't slow down. No matter what you hear. Elias ran. Behind him, something roared, not loud, but deep, like the earth itself breaking. The fog surged forward, swallowing the street, the buildings, the woman, the children, everything. As he fled into the darkness, Elias understood the truth at last.